Hi friends, welcome back to Farm Girl Diaries. My name is Caitlin and we are planting out today. So I have some broccoli plants we're gonna get in the ground today, some cauliflower and some cabbage. It is cold today. It's about 45 degrees right now. I can't feel my hands. I'm pretty cold. But we're kind of at that time where things need to go out whether they're kind of ready or not. It has been raining here for the past 4 days. Everything is just a complete mud puddle. But this week is supposed to be up in the 60s, even a couple days in the 70s. And then this time next week, I'll be getting ready to go out of town, and I won't be here. So we're actually a little bit late getting my brassicas out, but the weather hasn't been ready for them. Past couple years, I've been able to get all my brassicas planted out about the end of March. And right now we're in the first week of April. So it's been too cold. We've gotten down below 30s for the past couple of days. So I haven't been able to get everything out. And so everything needs to go out today. So I ended up having to buy a couple of plants. Not all of my broccolis. I think my broccoli seed is not old, but my germination rate was terrible with my broccolis. So I only got, probably about 5 really good broccolis, and then I have some really small ones that I'm gonna put in the ground, but they're not good. So I did have to buy 2 6-packs of my broccoli plants. I plant out no less than 18 broccolis, so I did have to buy some, and that's what you gotta do, you know. I'm kind of bummed I had to buy some, but you can't win them all. So I did really great with my flowers this year, starting my flower seeds, and then some things like my broccolis just didn't do well, and that's okay. So I have 18 broccolis we're putting out, probably about 7 cabbages, and then all of my cauliflowers. And it's cold. I'm not gonna have a good time really planting today. I'm hoping as I work, I warm myself up. But this is the time when the broccolis need to go in the ground. So the brassicas are all gonna be okay with this little bit of cold. And again, it's gonna get a lot warmer tomorrow and in the days that come. I think this is probably, hopefully, our last kind of really cold snap. So I want to get these in the ground while I can. So that's what we're gonna do today. So bundle up, get something hot, and let's get these plants in the ground. I'm putting all of my brassicas in this space here. I'm gonna start with broccoli in the back row, and then cauliflower in the front, and then cabbages in the very front row, leaving just a little bit of a path for me to walk through. Then this whole area is gonna be filled with brassicas, and come summer, once I harvest all of my brassicas and I pull out the plants, that's where my fall round of potatoes is gonna go. I'm not gonna lie, I see everyone planting potatoes right now, and I'm a little like, oh, okay, Caitlin, you should really plant potatoes. I'm not planting potatoes. It's hurting me a lot because everyone else is, and I hope I'm not making a big mistake, but I did fall potatoes last year and I had great success. So I'm gonna do that again this year. So first things first, I do have to move some mulch. I heavily mulch this, and as you can tell, thistle doesn't care about mulch. So we're gonna pull all this out, and then what I'm unfortunately decided I'm going to have to do is I'm gonna have to spray my thistle. So I haven't been pulling it. We've had nice days and I haven't been pulling it because I'm trying to kind of let it grow so I know where all the thistle is, and then I'm gonna come in with a poison and I'm gonna spray each and every single thistle. So that's gonna be a day project to get all the thistle sprayed, because there is a lot. But the way I'm looking at it right now is I'm not winning. I pulled thistle last year like it was my job, and you can't tell. You really can't tell. So unfortunately I'm gonna have to, this is I think the burden that I'm gonna have to do, and so this year I'm gonna be really diligent with spraying the thistle. Every time I see a new one pop up, I'm gonna spray, in the hopes that I spend this year spraying. It takes about 4 to 5 years for the poison to get out of the soil, so I'm hoping I can get it under control this year, and then the next 4 years only pull it when I see it, or pull it when I see it, and hopefully that's enough to kind of keep it not around. So I don't know, but I'm not winning, and this is not how life is gonna go. So I think that's just, unfortunately, that's just what I think has to happen. and I'm very upset about that. So that's going to be a future project. That's going to be a very near future project. Like I said, we haven't had days without any rain, so we haven't been able to do it yet, but it's coming up soon. So let me put you down. We're going to move the mulch, dig out whatever thistle is there currently, and then we're going to start planting. Okay, I moved all the mulch, pulled out a lot of thistle, and I have my broccolis kind of staggered. You can see it's kind of just like staggered. I have them about a foot and a half apart from every other plant. I forget what I actually do, but they'll be fine. Put them in the ground, things like to grow. So they're gonna be just fine. So I'm amending the beds with azomite and worm castings. I've previously only used azomite for a fertilizer in the fall, but I was doing some research and it said azomite was actually a good like all-purpose fertilizer. So I thought, what the hey, I'll put it on the beds this year. I don't really have any fertilizer. I'm out, so I do need to get some. And I was planning on going this morning and I didn't feel like it. I will get some manure and spread some manure around these beds. And then I do need to harvest from my compost bin. And I don't know if we'll get to that today or not. So when I harvest from the compost, I will top dress these beds too with some compost. But the main goal is just to get these plants in the ground. First crop done. Well, I got 12 broccolis in. I have at least 4 more. No, I need 118, so I have 6 more that I need to find a home for. I don't know where that home is going to be. But I really just wanted 2 rows of broccoli and then my cauliflower and then my cabbage. So we'll find a place for them. But next is going to be my cauliflower, and I want to have a quick chat about cauliflower while I go get my other cauliflower. So I have tried to go cauliflower numerous times. Say hi, soy sauce. Hi, baby. I don't know if you can see her. I can't even see my screen. It has warmed up beautifully. Granted, I am hot and I'm out of breath, but it has warmed up, so that's fantastic. There's nothing worse, at least I don't think, than working outside when it's just too cold. I don't enjoy that. I don't enjoy that at all. Okay, what do I got? I got cauliflower. This is my cabbage. Where's my other got my plants. So I have done cauliflower numerous times. White snowball cauliflower, once the head starts forming, you have to do what's called blanching. And you take the leaves of the cauliflower and you cover it over the head. And from my experience, you have to let air flow through. If you don't, it kills the head. But if you don't do it good enough, the head turns yellow. I don't know. I've tried it. My head is still turned yellow, and I finally got a little head. Up until 2 years ago, I hadn't even gotten a head. As soon as the head formed, it went directly to seed, even though my broccoli didn't do that. Like, broccoli and cauliflower are the same season. So I never understood my cauliflower went to head or went to seed. So I finally got a small head 2 years ago. And I tried blanching it and it went yellow. It never actually grew. It stayed about like the size of my palm, and that's it. So I said I was never, oops. said I was never trying cauliflower again. Oh my God, I'm gonna drop you. I said I was never trying cauliflower again. Well, at least until I had more space. So my garden is not as big as I would actually like it to be. It is big enough that I can grow what I need to grow in order to like feed myself for the year. But it doesn't really allow me a lot of room to like play, like experiment, you know. It doesn't really allow me a lot of room to do things if they're not going to be productive. So I said I wasn't growing cauliflower until I had more space where I could try to grow cauliflower, use up that space, and then if nothing grew and that nothing grew, then I wasn't going to be like, it was a waste of space. But I got hair at my butt this year and I decided, let's grow colored cauliflower. So I have yellow and I have purple cauliflower that I'm going to plant this year. I think I don't even think I have any. I think I might have had one white cauliflower and I don't know where that is. It's not currently in the process of getting hardened off, so it's not going to go in the ground, at least not today. But we're going to try to grow yellow and purple cauliflower and see if that's easier to grow because it's not going to discolor as quickly as white cauliflower is. I have no idea. But I said I wasn't going to try, and here I am trying. So I have, let me see, 5 purple cauliflowers that I started, 2 yellow cauliflowers that I started, and then I did pick up a 6-pack of the cheddar cauliflower. So that is 6, 7, 8 plus 5, 13 cauliflowers, I think. So let's go ahead. We're gonna do the exact same thing with the broccoli. I'm gonna stagger them again. I think I'm gonna put these ones closer together. I think I did leave maybe a little bit too much room in between the broccoli. And it's not too much room that's gonna hurt it, but I probably could have put them a little closer together, but that's fine. But I think I'm gonna put the cauliflower a little bit closer together. So I'm gonna peel back my mulch, do the same thing I just did with the broccoli. And what's nice with the mulch is I did such a heavy layer of mulch that as I peel back the top of it, the bottom part is already kind of really starting to compost. So that's just gonna feed this soil too as these things grow, and that mulch, and that I had straw underneath the mulch as that all continues to break down. And then once I get all this stuff planted, I'm gonna put a really heavy layer of straw down as my mulch, and that'll help again. Hopefully it'll suppress every weed but the thistle. And that'll help retain moisture and all that stuff. So let's get going. And before we get going, I just wanted to show my pond. That pond and that fountain was honestly one of the best things I've ever done. I'm obsessed. And so the fountain is a solar fountain, and so it goes whenever the sun is hitting it. And guys, it feels like summer. I'm so excited. Okay, cabbages are done. So this bed is a new bed. This is its, I think, 3rd year being used as a garden bed. Prior to that, that space just had, that space just had a couple of fire bushes. It has a holly tree that I cannot kill. It keeps coming back. So each year I just get a saw and we just saw it off. So it needs to be sawed off for this year. But it didn't even grow grass. It was just dirt. So my method of gardening is I just build up the soil. I don't have the money to bring in a lot. So last year was the first time I brought in a dump truck load of soil, and I did put about 2 inches of soil on that bed. And so that bed is actually looking pretty good. But that's where I definitely want to, my raised beds here are actually in pretty good shape. I do amend them every single year because I do need that. But that bed is where I put I'm gonna put all of my attention. Just again, add in fertilizers and manure and compost and all that stuff, because that bed needs it. But it's gonna be its 3rd year and I expect it to do pretty well. I worked hard to build up that soil, so I think this will be the first year that I actually have like a good soil in that bed. And I just want to give a PSA. I'm looking around my garden and there are so many weeds. There are so many weeds. And I do this every year, and so I'm talking myself out of it. And so if anyone's watching this that does the same thing, I'm gonna talk you out of it too. Every year, every spring and every fall, I look at my garden bed and I wonder, like, how am I gonna get all these weeds gone? How am I gonna get this whole thing planted? Or in the fall, how am I gonna get everything torn out? How am I gonna get all the garden beds put to bed? It's so much work. And as I'm planting, I'm like, just little by little. So I've been working for less than an hour and I already have that whole space cleared out of weeds. My chair just sunk in the mulch. I already have all that space cleared out of weeds, and I have what, 12 plus 12, 24 plants in there right now. We're gonna go add the cabbages and then we're gonna mulch it, but that's in a really good space. So, hold on 1 second. Okay, sorry, distractions. I'm like a squirrel. But we have our cabbages now that we're gonna put in the ground, and you'll see I never up-potted any of these. And that's fine. They're gonna get up-potted now directly into the soil. So I'm gonna get this done, and then this has been less than an hour and I've gotten one project already done. And I know throughout the rest of spring, just an hour here, an hour there, and this garden will go back to its gorgeous, normal state. Okay, let me get these planted before I blow away. Okay friends, so it was a super productive morning. It's around 11, so I think we've been out here for about 2 hours. But we got everything I wanted to get done, with a little bit of an asterisk. So I got all of my broccoli, cauliflower, and cabbage. I do have 6 more broccolis I need to find a home for. I don't know where the home is yet. So they are gonna be a project for another day. I want to think about that for a little bit, but I got these in, and then I cleaned out the bunny hutch. The bunny gives great fertilizer and it's not hot, which means it can go directly on the garden. So I cleaned out her hutch, and then I really heavily fertilized this space with her poop, and then I put straw on it and I individually watered each plant. The ground is really wet, but they're not calling for rain for a couple days, and you do want to water your plants in when you get them. So I have some buckets that collect rainwater, and so I just poured them over each individual plant. And then you'll see I did mulch. I cardboarded and mulched a pathway so I know where to walk, because right now you can see, let me turn you around, I'll show you. You can see a little bit of the green, but it is hard to see. You can see the green, but in some cases it is hard to see. And what happens is plants go into shock when you plant them, when you transplant them, when you move them, when you mess with plants, they go into shock. So what's happening is all of my leaves have gotten kind of soft. They're kind of wilting right now. And that's another reason why you want to water them and kind of be like, okay, this is your new home. You need to get settled here. So over the next week, these will kind of really get their feet in the ground, and they'll start standing up. And and then they'll be a lot easier to see. So I just kind of wanted this path. Again, I know where the plants are, but in case anyone else would come out here for whatever reason, I want them to know we don't walk on the straw, we walk on the mulch. In addition to that, I did plant out some lettuces. So this currently has strawberries in it from my strawberry tower. So I did a strawberry tower the first year last year, and you gotta take that inside in order to overwinter the strawberries, and I didn't want to do that. I've had a couple of towers, not a green stalk. I've had the dollar store towers, and I have tried to overwinter them with moderate success, but it's more of a pain in the butt than it's worth. So I dug the strawberries out of there and I put them into this bed to overwinter them, and some of them came back. It wasn't a complete waste. I think if I would have left them in there, I wouldn't have gotten anything. I think the fact that I did put them in here, I probably got about 10 strawberries. And then what I'm also thinking too, what might have happened is I really waited till the last minute to transplant them into this bed, and it might have been I didn't give them enough time to kind of like root before then the frost came. So this year I'm going to do that again, transfer them into a bed, and I'll probably transfer them a little bit earlier to give them time to root and kind of get established before then I cover them with leaves and straw to overwinter. But like I said, I'm going out of town, so I'm not going to plant my strawberries until I get back. So when I get back, it'll be closer to the end of April, and that's when I'm gonna plant all my strawberries. So that's what I'll harvest everything out of this bed here. This is gonna be a pepper bed, so this will be empty for a little bit, but right along the front here I put a couple lettuces, and then in this bed I put a couple lettuces and 6 kale. I do like to grow kale. I eat the kale, the bunny loves the kale, so I put kale in that bed. So I got my lettuces started, and then last weekend what I did, and there's nothing happened in here yet, is I forget what I did. I put beets in this bed, I think. I'm pretty sure I put beets in that bed, and then I put snap peas on my trellises, and I put carrots down below. Nothing is popping up yet, and for as rainy as it is, this bed here for my snap peas is looking a little dry. So I'll probably have to get the hose out sometime this week and water everything, because now we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 of our raised beds planted, and then our whole, what I call the potato patch, the whole potato patch is planted. So that was a huge success. So I think I'm gonna take a little bit of a break, take the puppy inside, fill up my water cup because I'm thirsty. But then the next thing that we're gonna work on, I don't know if I'm gonna do it today or not, is what I call the movie pit. So I need to get everything out of there. I got 2 new beds we need to put together and move into that space, and that is where the flower farm concept is going to go. And I think I need to buy 2 more beds yet. I bought like metal beds off of Amazon last fall, so I think I need to buy 2 more, and then I'll put 4 beds into that space. So it's gonna be the flower farm, and it's gonna be where my squash is grown. My butternut squash, my pumpkins, all that stuff is gonna be grown in that space there. Kind of keep it out of this garden here. So I think that's it for today. But it was a productive morning. It warmed up a lot. It's actually gorgeous now. Perfect day to be working outside. So I think I'm gonna fill up my water cup, take a little bit of a break, and then see if we wanna do something in the house or keep working outside. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you are off to a great start in your gardening season. I know some places are still getting snow. If you're getting snow, I'm so sorry. You live in a terrible place. I saw somebody, I think it was Pittsburgh was getting snow this weekend, and I like read the news article, and then I went and looked outside. All my tulips are blooming. I was like, ooh, I could never live in Pittsburgh. I am not a snow person. I love spring, and I'm here for spring, and I'm obsessed. So I will show you as I end this video. I'll give you a quick glance at all the flowers that we have blooming. It is looking just gorgeous. Happy spring, guys. See you on the next video. Where's the panic mom? Where are you?